Oh, we got to talk about this. So,
Not this one. This one.
this one.
I mean, it is very rough. It's a rough, crude deal. It's the only way that I can do it without getting my hands into the computer. But this is the way I always do it. Mechanically first, and then figure out how to get it on the CAD. But this would be a piston assembly with a roller bearing on the bottom. 2-inch round, probably about 1 inch wide roller bearing. And this is a cam. On the black outline, this is a bottom for a pizza box.
I've seen a lot of those.
Anyway, you can see how the wheel follows the cam, and that is converting reciprocating motion into linear motion with a cam. Instead of using a crankshaft with bearings and pins, you just have one part that moves back and forth. This would be simulating like the piston in the cylinder.
Sure.
But I mean, this is, like I said, it's very crude. But the way this works, the way I'm going to have it, this is going to be a 6-cylinder radial. There'll be a cylinder, 6 cylinders like this. This piston assembly will be connected directly to this piston assembly. So they'll basically shuttle back and forth on the cam, because the cam is cut exactly from the sine wave of a crankshaft. I mean, actually this one's not, because it's really crude, but I mean, if you convert the action of a crankshaft into a cam, this is what it looks like, and you have to figure out how to cut that or grind it in accurate enough, because you're going to have 2 rollers that exactly all the way apart, but they will be connected together. So they'll just shuttle back and forth, and then there'll be another one here, and there'll be another one here. And so the way it'll work, it'll be 6 cylinders. Each cylinder will fire 3 times per crankshaft rotation. I shouldn't say crankshaft, because it's not a crankshaft. It's an output shaft. So anyway, yeah, my unit's falling apart.
That's amazing, Paul.
So, but this is how I come up with this crap. And I mean, you always think, build a better mousetrap, right? But this, all 3 pistons will be at the top, dead center at the same time, and the other 3 will all be at bottom, dead center at the same time.
Sure.
But firing 3 times per revolution, there'll be 18 power strokes per revolution.
And it's going to be a radial.
It will be radial. There'll be cylinders, just like the Kawasaki radial, only 6 cylinders, but lacking a crankshaft and connecting rods.
That's amazing.
Now, using the KISS theory, keep it simple, stupid.
Right?
Yeah, you have to do it that way. But I've got all the parts to make it. I'm sourcing, at the time, I am sourcing a person to cut the cam. And I've got all the cylinders. The cylinders will be 2-stroke. It'll be a 2-liter, 2-stroke, about 150 horsepower. And I don't know. We'll see if it works. I mean, this is off the top of my head. So
That's wild, Paul.
Yeah.
That's wild. This is
what you call a concept demonstrator. Because if you have to explain, just like that one, if you have to explain to somebody how this works, especially if you're pitching them for money, which we were, you have to make something that shows them how it works. Because everybody with an engine thinks connecting rods, crankshafts, and this doesn't have any of that either. This wobble plate, or it's called a sinusoidal cam, exactly mimics the motion of a crankshaft with a piston, just like, you know, if this had connecting rods, but it doesn't. And so the plans were these two cylinders are connected. There are roller bearings in here, in here. There'll be 8 sets of these all the way around. It'll be a barrel engine. It'll look like a revolver cylinder in the back here on each end. There will be 2-stroke and be normally aspirated. Now you can see where you can have oil in here. This would be like you'd call a crankcase. You put a 2-stroke cylinder on here, all of a sudden you can put a seal here, and you can suck air in here, blow it up through the transfers, ignite it, and exhaust it out just like a normal 2-stroke. And no, you know, it'll work just fine. This one right here is configured for diesel. It'll be electronically fuel injected, and the numbers come in at right around 900 foot-pounds of torque and over 800 horsepower, naturally aspirated. It has capabilities of turbo, but won't be as efficient as a valved engine, but naturally aspirated, it'll be much more. And then the reduce in parts. You have 16 active cylinders with 9 moving parts.
That's fascinating, Paul.
Yeah. And, you know, we've been looking for venture capital for a few years now on it. And this engine was actually produced back in the 50s. It was a 6-cylinder, which was not perfectly balanced because the cam was exactly the same as this. But it would accelerate. It was carbureted, and it would accelerate so violently. It was built for aircraft use. It would twist the hub out of the propeller. And they were using wood propellers back then, but, you know, we hadn't figured out aluminum. But they deemed it unusable because it was too powerful. When the hell has there ever been an engine too powerful?
It's just the wrong application.
That's right. And this would make a perfect truck going down the road. As configured and the exact size as this, you know, a barrel engine would be about this big around, about 3 or 4 feet long, have the accessory drive on the back, and then your power takeoff on the other. This could go in a truck going down the road.
Sure.
You know, compete with Caterpillar, whatever. So, I mean, we've showed this to a lot of people, and it's going to take some venture capital to get it running. But this is as far as I and my partner have come on this, and it was called the Dynacam back in the day. There's been several reiterations of it, none very successful. But this one here shows promise because of the 2-stroke part of it. It's simple, no camshafts, no valves. Parts are just simple. And with the aid of electronic fuel injection, you no longer have a throttle whack. You can ramp it up and ramp it down, whatever. If you push the throttle all the way to the floor, the computer will say, well, you're going to get this much.
Right.
Until you're full power. And same way backing it off. So that's the electronics is what will make this more user friendly. So
Wow. That's incredible, Paul.
yeah,
Thank you.
you bet.